Blessed be. Welcome to the Circle of Heka. I'm Lady Amaris. Well, this happened quite a few months ago, kind of like towards the end of last year. And I wasn't sure whether I was going to make a video about it. Whether it would stir up a little bit of controversy or not. So I kind of just sat on it. But I thought, well, I'm on a roll, I'm making some videos, so why not? This is something that I've said to a few people, but I haven't actually discussed it widely until now. And I know that there'd be a few people that I know who would really freak out. So I won't be talking about anyone's gender. I'll just be saying they or the person or whatnot. And I'm trying to try and be kind of general and vague about certain things, because you don't really need to know every little detail. It was just a funny little anecdote that I can put in my memoirs. So I just thought I'd share. So I've been running some classes and some workshops. So I started around about May last year, doing some for the wider community, and the main one that I was doing was beginner spellcraft. So 5 weeks of just immersing yourself in the basics of spellcraft, how it works, why it works, different techniques, and just to give you a little bit of a jumping off point to start creating your own spells and start doing your own spell work. It's not everything, obviously, because it's beginner, but it was okay for people just starting out, but it was also a good way of people who have probably been in it for a little bit of a while, and just come back and just go back through some of the fundamentals, because after a while you get a little bit of blasé and you kind of gloss over a few things, and then you kind of like, oh, why aren't my spells working the way that they used to, or the way that I want them to? And so there's just this little kind of just tighten things up a little bit, and looking at things and maybe in a slightly different way that you haven't done before, or trying different techniques that you haven't done before, and just seeing how they work. So just because it was beginner, it didn't mean that you had to be a beginner to get any value from it. So I'd been running those for a little while in different areas, and I got a phone call from this person, and they had missed the first class, but that was fine. I kind of just said, well, you've missed the first class, which is basically the foundation class. We do go over, kind of loop back and forth and see how that first class relates to different areas. So you will catch on, but if you wanted to, you could do the first class again when I do it again. I always offer, if anyone misses a class, that they're always welcome to come and take that the class that they missed at a later date. So I offered that, and I just a few little questions of where are you at? Are you, a total beginner, or have you been doing some stuff before? And they said that they had been doing a few bits and pieces, and I said, yeah, that's fine. You might find some value from it. Yeah, come on down. So they came down, and when they walked in, it was there's different people have different energies, and some people, when they're in a new environment, they kind of put up this kind of wall, and sometimes it can be a little bit of a prickly wall, it can be a little bit of a dark wall, and people notice that energy. And but the thing is, you have to kind of discern, is this their defense mechanism, because they're not feeling in their comfort zone, they're out of their comfort zone, so they've put up this kind of protective layer, protective wall that to the outside may look maybe a little bit sinister, maybe a little bit, oh, I'll just keep away from them. But it's their defense mechanism. So they came in, they're a little bit of a cloud of doom. But, that's fine. They lightened up as we went. So, went through the class, that's good, and then, little questions here and there is just to find out where people are at, because I like to cater the classes for the people. So if everyone's a beginner, then I'll run through things a little bit more slowly or a little bit more in more detail. If people have got it really quickly, then I'll move on and put in a few little bit more nuances here and there. But just so that I know who I need to kind of give a little bit more information to, and who I don't so much. And so just getting a few questions, like I said, that they've been doing some stuff for a while, and that they're actually from Perth. They're from the eastern states, and they just come over for work. And I thought, oh, okay, cool. I'm glad that you, on your off time, that you wanted to do the class. So, and I asked, because they'd been doing some stuff. It's like, okay, well, what type of stuff were you doing? What type of witchcraft calls to you? And what's your leanings? And they said, well, they're like family tradition. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's really interesting. As a tradition, where are you from? Is it, is it leanings to more towards, say, the Celtic kind of magic that's that's done within families, or is it more of a Strega? Is it more of some of the from the Balkans? Or is it something that's more African American? African and diasporic countries. I think I've said that really wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. Is it more inspired by that spirituality? Because I'm interested. Part of the class is that if someone has got some information, then it's always good to share. I don't expect people to. Well, I don't know everything, and I don't expect everyone to take everything that I say as gospel. I expect that as part of a learning environment, that everyone has a bit of a question. Someone has different insights and input as to how something might work for them. It all adds to the mix, and someone may have some kind of way of doing something that I've never thought of, and vice versa. So I'm not. What's the word? My ego isn't that inflated that I think that I know everything in relation to every subject. I was really interested into what type of magic. Obviously, if it's a family tradition, then there's lots of things that they can't tell you, but they can kind of give you a little bit of an idea as to what what their magic is very similar to. So I was just saying that that part of their work was obviously they'd come over for their job, and I said, oh yeah, so what do you do? And he says, oh well, they're like a bit like a private investigator. Because I said, you seem more like you come in to check people out, and I said, oh, so you're a private investigator? And they kind of looked at me like, how did you know? And yeah, obviously talking about what type of magic they're into, family tradition, and so then I said, oh, okay, what region is it from? Where is it from? And they said, out of families that came out of Europe, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so there's some Romani, or maybe Baltic, or in the like, maybe Germanic, And obviously maybe I was probing a little bit too much, but eventually they just said, oh well, some of the families that are coming out of Europe, the Illuminati families. I'm part of the Illuminati, and it's like. And I kind of didn't say anything for a couple of seconds, because it's like, what do you say to that when someone just goes, I'm a member of the Illuminati, or I'm a family member of the Illuminati, which is, even, I don't know what's worse. But you kind of like, what's your comeback to that? So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then I kind of like, oh, so what do you do? And they're like, well, can't tell you, and all of that sort of stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, look, I understand. But again, I just thought, who says that? Because two thoughts came into my mind at the same time. One was, this person is a crazy bag of cats, or they're telling the truth. And then there's all of those, things that you have to think about as well. So that's another road. So it's, or third option, they're both. But again, who says that? Because it's one of those running jokes, and I know my boyfriend and I have this kind of thing of, if you want to say something and it's a little bit off the wall, or you're just having a bit of a joke, you'll say, oh, pink sky in Albuquerque or whatever, Illuminati confirmed, all of this sort of 666 on the street sign, Illuminati confirmed, all of those funny things, because it's come into almost like popular culture, where it started off being kind of little rumblings in lots of little circles where people were investigating different things on secret societies and whatnot, and it was like, oh, okay, they're all connected here, and blah 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 blah, and you got conspiracy, the whole conspiracy theory thing, and the conspiracy theory, or the idea of conspiracy theories, or people who were tinfoil hat type people, was those phrases were kind of if my memory serves me, coined by the CIA to debunk anyone who had any kind of investigations and were on the right trail almost, and so you see it now in popular culture. There's Illuminati this, Illuminati that. You got Illuminati t-shirts, to the point where it becomes a joke, so that if anyone actually says anything that maybe have any kind of validity, then everyone will see it as a joke. So I kind of understand that, and I make jokes myself, but there's a fine line between when someone's having a joke and when that someone is serious. You can kind of tell that, whether they're serious because it's the truth, or they're serious because they believe it's the truth. Either the difference between a joke and serious. Well, mostly you should. So here I am thinking, okay, so is this person crazy, or are they really? What do I do? And then why say that? Why not just say, oh yeah, so we're from a Romani group, or we're this, or just make some shit up. You don't have to actually go and say that. So again, what is the expected outcome from saying something like that. You know, lots of people will big note themselves and say certain things like, I'm this, or, you know, I'm the grand poobah of the society of witchcraft, you know, crocheters or whatever, just to make people go, ooh, wow, you know, just to give themselves that little bit of a pep up. So, you know, why would they... Again, why would they say that? So I was taken aback and didn't really say anything. So I wasn't frightened. It was just like, what do you say? So I kind of left it. That was fine. Next week came back, a few more things, and you know, different little questions and whatnot would crop up in the class that I'm not sure whether it was just to see what type of magic that I was into. I know that there was very much a very antagonistic towards people that were seen as being like the stereotypical Wiccan love and light. You know, everything is, you know, rainbows and white light crystals, all that sort of thing. So just, you know, a few little probing questions on their point, just to see what type of witch I was, and also what I knew and what I didn't know, and yeah, all of those sorts of things, anything that I would have done myself. So then there was after class, just having a little bit of, you know, a conversation, because it's like, oh, you know, I'm interested. I just like, the jury's out. Are you crazy or are you not? But in the meantime, I'll ask questions and find out, you know, different things. So very, very interesting what this person said. Some of that I had known before. Others were like, didn't know that, but, you know, checks out afterwards. Just, you know, certain things, and it's like anyone who has information about certain subjects. It's very, very interesting to talk to them. I think the problem is a lot of the times people get the misconception with me is that I like to know things. I like to understand things, and just because I'm interested and I'll research something doesn't mean that I believe it totally without question. I'm interested in something, so I'm exploring it. Doesn't mean that I am some automaton that's going to go, oh, this is what I believe, blah, 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 blah. So when I talk about certain things and I'm discussing certain things, I think people get the misconception that it's what I believe wholeheartedly, when the jury's still out. I'm still collecting data. I haven't made my final analysis to even get to my final conclusion on the subject. So or any kind of subject. There's always more to learn. You know, there's always more, and what you thought about something may change with new information. So I'm not rigid in my stance on things. You know, if new information comes to light to show that I was wrong about something, then, you know, I'm the first person to go, yeah, okay, great, new stuff. So again, my ego isn't that inflated that I have to be right in every respect, and that if I am proven wrong in something, that that I lash out and attack people. So again, interesting conversation. Stuff I took on board to sit there and chew over, but believing anything one way or the other, again, I said jury is still out to this day. So as I said, the conversation went through, and it's kind of like I asked them why did they tell me what was, it says, oh well, some people couldn't be bothered hiding the truth. And I thought, interesting, because taking a few steps back into the past a little bit more. At the beginning of last year, before all of this, I had worked a spell, and one of many, but in this particular spell was the how can I put it, the presence of, if someone was in my presence, or anyone who, you know, has dealings with me, of a nefarious type, who may be thinking about, you know, plotting against me, or, you know, all of those types of things. Anyone who's in my sphere who wanted to see ill will for me, that they would be compelled to say that to my face, and also with witnesses. And this is exactly what happened. Not that I'm saying that this person had ill wishes for me, but again, I don't know. They were there to look into, you know, various people, and, you know, they were doing my class. So, you know, obviously put two and two together, and you would say that maybe I was one of them as well. But the fact that this spell kind of compelled them to say who they were was quite interesting, because I love it when, you know, I love it when a plan comes together. It always kind of surprises me in that childish kind of, ooh, it's working way when a spell works. It always tickles me and gets me excited about magic again each time. So it was interesting when they said that, you know, they just couldn't be bothered, or, you know, didn't feel the need, or whatever it is, just to hide or not say anything. And they also mentioned that they do tell people on occasion, and the reaction that they get from people a lot of the time is almost this very sycophantic kind of reaction, where they find out that this person has, you know, some kind of connection, or some perceived connection with some occult knowledge, some, you know, very hidden occult knowledge, and so they fawn over them and pander over to them and say, look, I want to join your club, and all of this kind of thing. And I kind of felt ill when I heard that. It's like, really? Because when people do it to me, quite a few people have done that to me, I find it very uncomfortable. I don't enjoy when people are very kind of slimy and smarmy kind of to me in order to get something that they want. They think that they need to stroke my ego, or, you know, tell me that I'm wonderful, or, you know, that oh, my lady, you know, the sun shines out of, you know, wherever, you get the drift. And usually those people are the last ones who actually ever get anything. So just keep a note of that. But I just find where you find someone who does say that, then goes, there's a reason for them saying a certain thing. Again, like, you know, the Grand Poobah of the Royal Society of Witchcraft Crocheters. You know, there's a reason that you tell people that you are of a certain rank, because you want people to fawn over you, want people to look up to you, to respect you, to see you in awe, you know, maybe even be fearful or afraid of you. So I was, you know, like, wow, there's people that do that, and, you know, say, yeah, please let me join your club, and it's like, gosh. But anyway, so the lots of questions, lots of, you know, backwards and forwards, lots of interesting information. But you I never asked to join, and they never offered for me to join. It wasn't something that I was really interested. I was interested in having a conversation, but that's pretty much about it. So getting to the end of the class. So the classes go for 5 weeks, so there's 5 classes. So the very last class comes to the end, and going to pack up. So during the class, it had been very windy, and it sounded like so the place that I was doing the course was an outside facility, and so it was quite windy, and it kind of sounded like people were walking around, or that there was someone on the roof, and it was really quite weird, and it was like, And so we get to the end of the class, and time to pack up, and so this person says, do you want help? Do you need help packing up? And I said, oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Didn't have a lot of stuff. So it was just taking stuff to the car. There was a television and my computer and a few other bits and pieces, because I like to use visual aids and whatnot when I'm doing my classes, and so it's a bit audio visual. So just packing up, and I'm about to pick up my stuff and go outside, and they're like, no, I've got people coming to help. And okay. And then their phone, does their little beep, and I look at it and it's like, yeah, they're here. And my heart just went down into the floor, and I'm thinking, oh shit. What? You've got people coming? And then I thought, look, if this is it, this is me being taken away into a white van and never seen again. So be it. But it was just like, for a split second you think, what? What? So taking the stuff out, and literally out of the black shadows, because it was quite dark. There wasn't a lot of lighting where we were. Out of the shadows walks these 2 people who are in all black, and could have put a balaclava on, and if they didn't smile, you wouldn't have known that there was anyone there. And I just thought, oh crap. And but they helped me put the stuff in the car, and said, oh yeah, no, that's it. And I said to this person, oh, so these are your minions? And they said yes, and there's quite a few of them, and I'm thinking, friggin' hell. But then that was it, and then they walked back into the shadows again, and said goodbye, and got my car, drove off, and that's kind of the last I've heard of this person. But it was just like, really? Even if it was just a setup, just to it's kind of like, what? So my brush with the Illuminati was quite enlightening, a little bit off-putting, and kind of funny, but yeah, as I said, jury is out whether this person was or wasn't, yeah, I just thought I'd share, some of your thoughts, what you think is good. No, nothing kind of too weird and out there, and start getting on some conspiracy theories and stuff. It's good to have a few little bits, but as I said, the jury is out. I'm not too sure, so it's just a funny little story, as I said, to have my memoirs, and yeah. So let me know what you think. There might be a can of worms that I'm opening there, but merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be.
If you like this video and want to see more, please click on the links provided. If you think this witchcraft thing may be for you, please subscribe. Blessed be.